Bread. Humble yet majestic. The very stuff of life. What could possibly link the grain fields of the Neolithic Revolution to today's vibrant and elegant French cuisines? From the Fertile Crescent to the aromatic boulangeries of Paris, join us on a journey that transcends time and space, all in pursuit of the perfect French bread. Bonjour, my fellow food explorers. Today we are diving into the heart of history, tradition, and of course, flour, to create a classic French roulette. We're stuffing it with something extra special, a rustic mushroom Duxelles with a dollop of tangy goat cheese.
That sounds fabulous.
Bread in its purest form is just flour, water, salt, and yeast, but each ingredient is a chapter in history. Civilization's sustenance, perhaps. Grains are life's seeds that have nurtured civilization since 10,000 years ago. From the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, they have journeyed across continents and cultures, shaping our culinary identities. But let's get started, shall we? Let's roll up our sleeves and start by combining the flour, salt, dissolving the yeast in some warm water, and then we're going to mix it all together to create a loose, sticky dough. The water to flour ratio is roughly 70%, which is a good ratio for many French breads. It will give you that dough that's moist and extensible, capable of rising well, and also give you that real airy crumb you're after. So, today you're going to learn how to make bread. Is it your first time ever making bread?
Very first time, and maybe the rookie will turn into an experienced chefess.
Okay, well, it's really simple actually. So we've got our water, we've got our flour, we've got our yeast, our salt, and I always like to put a little brown sugar in to help the yeast get started. So what we're going to do is heat up some water, and then we're going to add yeast and sugar and let it froth. It's going to take a few minutes for the yeast to activate. You'll see it happening.
I'm so excited. I love bread.
Okay, good. So here's what we're going to do.
Okay, what?
Put the sugar in the bowl.
Okay.
Now add a small portion of water.
Oh, that's not so small.
Maybe a half cup.
Or a little less, maybe.
We'll pop it in the microwave.
Maybe a third.
About 15 seconds.
Okay.
Because you don't want the water too warm, it'll kill the yeast. You want it to be like tepid. Check it out.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Just, like
That's just
lukewarm.
perfect. Lukewarm. Now, we add the yeast.
And how much yeast was that?
That's 2 packets.
Throw the whole packet in and don't worry about it.
Yeah, usually you can just use 1 packet.
Okay.
It'll make a good loaf.
Like 4 to 6 people if you're having a dinner party?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're gonna let that froth. You can see our yeast has risen. What do you think?
What a miracle! Look at this. I can't believe in 5 minutes time it went from this to that.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
I'm gonna have you add a tablespoon of salt.
A tablespoon of salt. Okay.
And let's add the yeast.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Isn't that something?
Amazing.
Add the rest of the water.
Here you go.
Okay. Okay, that is looking really good. See how the consistency is? Now you need for about 8 to 10 minutes to create a nice gluten formation in here.
All right. Now that's the hard part. No watches in the bread flour.
There we go. So the sticky. The dough should be sticky all over your fingers, but it should have a tack to it. And so what I'm doing now is developing the gluten. So now that we've got our dough kneaded, we are going to let it rest for a few hours. One way to check that it has been properly kneaded is to grab a small piece, pull it apart, and see if you can spot light through it without the dough tearing. It's called the window pane test. I'm going to cover it with some wet or damp towels. Let it rest.
How long do we wait?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah. All right.
So now we have the bread that has risen to a proper height, quite amazingly.
Look at that.
And we're so excited to get this in the oven.
Almost.
Almost. What's next?
Now we're gonna split it in two. Now I need a little more flour behind us. I'm going to roll it out into the shape of a rectangle.
Ah.
Look at that.
So you roll it pretty thin.
Pretty thin, yeah, because it rolls into each other. Rolls into itself. So yes. So that's about our finished product. Looking good, right? I've got the pan set up in the oven, but this is to rest now for about 20 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna start chopping away, and hopefully we'll have a fantastic bread that we can boast to you about and recommend you try in your own kitchen.
While our dough is resting, we will prepare our rustic filling. This is a mushroom Duxelles. It's a traditional mixture of chopped mushrooms, onions, and garlic, herbs that has graced French cuisine for centuries. This technique of Duxelles is named after the influential chef, pardon my French, François Pierre de la Varenne, employer Marquis de Duxelles, a 17th century French diplomat. This is a testament to frugality and creativity. This method was a way to use up excess mushrooms and transform them into a flavorful paste, which is representative of an approach used throughout French cooking. Simple ingredients, slow cooking to draw out flavors.
Welcome back.
All
Now
right.
the fun begins. Put in the onions and the mushrooms and the butter first.
Here are our
Chopped and
onions,
processed, right?
chopped mushrooms, very fine. We want to, essentially the goal is to reduce the concoction, evaporate the liquid so it turns into a paste.
And the onions next. Maybe a cup and a half of onions for 2 loaves of bread. Now, the fabulous mushrooms. Who doesn't love mushrooms? Yummy. Now, do you want the mushrooms to just lie on top of the onions, or shall I mix them all together?
Mix it all together. Because we don't want any browning in the onions.
Well, here we are, and I'm
Okay.
amazed at how much it shrank.
Yeah, all the
Because-
water's out.
Now, if I was here alone, I'd be freaking out a little bit because there's our 2 great big loaves waiting to be stuffed.
What we're gonna do, it's gonna get a lot of body with the goat cheese,
Uh-huh.
and then you spread it really thin in the loaf.
Now it's growing again.
Flour on our surface. Now what we're gonna do is take each of our bread loaves, and we're each gonna have half of our prepared mixture here. Spread it out over the bread. So here's your half, and here's mine.
All that mushroom and goat cheese
Yum.
has such a nice aroma. Oishi desu ne.
Yep. Okay.
Right here like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a yoga mat. One giant.
Beautiful. Look at that. Those are excellent. Perfect.
Gorgeous. Look at those. They look like a giant tortilla or something.
And we're gonna save this one for our friends a little later, and we're gonna bake this one now. It's going in the oven. Yeah, let's talk about pairing. So this dish with rustic bread and tangy goat cheese needs a wine that complements these earthy, hearty flavors. So Chardonnay from Burgundy, particular from the Mâconnais region, works really well because warmer climate, so we get some riper, fruitier notes on the wine. And we also have clay that contributes to minerality. So in celebration for kicking off this channel, as bubbles are so necessary for new beginnings, right?
Oh, yes, they're
We thought,
necessary anytime.
What a perfect match. Anytime mushrooms are in the dish, I love to think of Burgundy. So that's why we chose this
Awesome.
particular wine today.
Aloha.
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 Voila.
We
Our
made
journey
it.
concludes this tantalizing taste. Let's dive into this baked brulee.
Well, I can smell the aroma and it's divine.
And now it's your turn to try the recipe. And remember, as we break bread, we're not just sharing a meal, we are tapping into a universal tradition that has been shared for centuries. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more cultural and culinary journeys. Bon appetit!
Bon appetit. Wow.
Look at that.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Want a bite?
Our new channel, as we say,
Every new beginning has to have some bubbles.
beginnings and bubbles it is. Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
All right. Here you are.
So is the rookie resident cook passing her test?
How do you feel after our first weekend of shooting? Do you feel like you can make a couple dishes now?
I feel like I've learned a lot, and I see the rhythm of it and how it works.
Here you are.
Merci beaucoup.
Look at that.
Enchanté.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Wow.
And look at this nutty, crusty.
Yeah, you were so sure.
She was pretty worried about that.
I was. It looked like there was barely enough. Thank you, kind sir. Wow. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, heavenly. Want a bite?
That is so...
Delectable.
It's like a pillow from Burgundy.
This is great.
Like we said in the trailer or passport in your pantry, this is a first-class ticket to the French countryside, I tell you.